All right. Sorry for the delay, folks. Nick Marro here with Smitty in Occupy Fantasy. Happy Friday. As always, helping you break down tonight's NBA DFS main slates on both DraftKings and FanDuel. Notably, the two slates are a little bit different tonight. We got 6 games in total, 4 games on the DraftKings slate, 6 games over on FanDuel. Not locking until 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. We are here at the normal time. If you guys have any questions about any of these games, definitely get them in. Should be able to get to everyone today, even with the 6 games. But yeah, appreciate you guys being here. Smitty, any initial thoughts as we dive into this one?
No, basically two different slates. Both are pretty good. I like the FanDuel one more just because there's more games, but
Of course.
overall it looks pretty good.
Yeah, should be fun. Still some moving parts from the trade deadline. If you guys getting rested going into the weekend, shouts out to Ben getting in here early. Appreciate you, my man. Heath, as always. HP Cards, our beloved regulars, and we got Jose here saying Duren ruined everything. Yeah, he got hurt in the first half there. That definitely sucked. Yeah, Smitty, he's still alive. I think he's turning the corner here, Smitty. We get some love from the chat here. Hoping you get well soon. But
Appreciate it.
you've been powering through a lot of flu games this week. But hopefully tonight we can build on that momentum, get some W's in the Discord. Let's dive right into the game by game here. We got a few games, 2 games, not a few, locking at 7:30 Eastern. Let's start with Miami and Boston. We got the Heat on the road, slight underdogs, 226.5 point total, pretty healthy. The Heat are going to be without Tyler Hero, Jaime Jaquez, Jovic, Pele, Mitchell, all on the injury report for whatever reason. They're all going to be available. Drew Smith Wiggins available as well. So really, the only guy out here is going to be Tyler Hero. He one of the teams that had a lot of rumors around them going into the deadline. Nothing really happened though, so they're kind of healthy here in a tough matchup against Boston. I think you could mix in Powell, Mitchell, Wiggins. They all look fine. The matchup for Bam isn't bad. Vooch is now in for Boston. That's actually going to be a downgrade defensively. We'll talk about him in just a minute, but yeah, I think you can make a case for any of the starters. Hawkins has been playing pretty well off the bench. I don't know that there's anyone I can really call a priority where these guys are priced those many again. They've been resting guys tonight. They're letting everyone go here against one of the best teams in the East. So tough to find value. Is there anyone on Miami you find yourself keying in on?
No, I pretty much feel the same. Would kind of rather just save my roster spots. Bam's probably my favorite option here, but don't think he's like a must play. More of a tournament play.
Yep. Yeah, don't mind Bam, but again, kind of lowish total, two decent defenses, healthy team. Not really a spot we need to rush to. All right, new look Boston Celtics team here. Obviously, no Jason Tatum, no one else on the injury report. Anthony Simons traded away, and in that trade, they did acquire Nikola Vucevic. They lost some bench pieces, Josh Minot. There's a few other guys that have moved around, but they also have moved Peyton Pritchard to the bench. He's going to be running that second unit now. A big reason for that, I think, is the acquisition of Vucevic. Kind of want to balance things out a little bit. So we're probably going to see White, Shearman, Brown, Hauser, Vooch is the starting lineup. Kata and Pritchard both coming off the bench. I don't know. I think Jalen Brown looks good here. It's tough for me to really trust anyone else. I will say Baylor Shearman was not a young player I really had much interest in coming into the season, but he's been pretty hot lately. If he could get hot from three, I don't think it's the worst value piece. At the same time, don't want to recommend it. I mean, very, very thin range of outcomes for him. I mean, he needs to get hot from three to hit that ceiling. But yeah, just Jalen Brown for me. Vooch as the starter, I am interested to see what his minutes look like. We have him for 22. Again, I think he's going to help them in the pick and roll offensively, but defensively, they're going to take his lunch when he's out there, I think, opposing teams, especially teams with a dangerous front court like the Miami Heat. So interesting fit there. We'll see how it shakes out. But the one guy I do like is Jalen Brown. I think he's reasonably priced on both sides. Obviously, tremendous upside. Pretty well rested, too. We have him for almost 36 minutes here. Really like Brown. And I think the usage can only go up with Pritchard coming off the bench. Smitty, how do you feel about the Celtics?
Yeah, pretty much the same. I think Jalen Brown's my favorite here. With Pritchard off the bench, definitely helps him. So I do like Brown. Derek White, I think it also helps, but he's kind of priced correctly. More of a tournament play. And then the center situation, I'm probably going to personally stay away from it, at least for this game, kind of see how things go. But yeah, I don't know. I think Kata is actually who they need more than Vooch, but I guess they thought they needed Vooch. So we'll see how that goes. But I wouldn't expect Vooch to play like big minutes. I kind of think it's going to be more like a 50-50 split with him and Kata. And then they still have Garza, which they've been willing to run at the four, so he probably still plays some. not playable on this slate. But like I said, I kind of just want to see how all of that shakes out before I really play any of them. Shireman, you mentioned. All these guys go through like a 2 week spurt where they're good and they rotate. So I don't mind mixing him in. I think he's probably a little overowned for who he is, but I don't mind getting to a little bit.
Yeah, on DK especially, where we only have the 4 games, I think it makes some sense. But again, he's very streaky. I don't know. He's been hitting ceilings every game, but I don't know that that's going to continue. Also, keep in mind Jaylen Brown was out for a few of those games, so that usage rate for him is probably going to go down. The other game we have here in the 7:30 window, another two pretty solid teams when it comes to the Eastern Conference. We got the Knicks taking on the Pistons. Knicks on the road, slight underdogs, just a 219.5 point total here. Biggest news for the Knicks is that Mitchell Robinson is going to be starting at center tonight in the absence of one Karl Anthony Towns dealing with that eye injury. Kind of crazy that he can't go with that. He needs a better doctor, in my opinion. But Miles McBride still out. Josh Hart, who missed the game, is probable. OG questionable. I think he goes. And they did go out and trade for Jose Alvarado. I tweeted this. I think it's one of the best acquisitions for a contender. I really like what he does on defense. He's going to help them a lot, but he's not with the team yet tonight. So I don't really need to be talking too much about Alvarado. The obvious play here with no cat is going to be Mitchell Robinson. He's going to get the start at center. I don't think they can go small here. Duren, we'll talk about in a minute. He's questionable, but whether he's in or out, Detroit is a team that likes to run a big lineup. Robinson, we have him for 25 minutes. I mean, he's only had a handful of starts this year with Cat out, but he's hitting value even in games where he's coming off the bench with Cat in there. I like him a lot here. I think he's kind of an obvious score play, especially on DK, where you could play 2 centers, and we only have 4 games. After him, I don't mind OG. I think Brunson looks good. Obviously, his usage is going to go up a little bit with no Cat. Bridges is okay. More scoring dependent than the other wings in a Hart or an OG. But if OG is out, Bridges and Hart are going to become very, very appealing here as well. But assuming OG plays, I like Mitchell Robinson a lot. I think he's kind of necessary for the most part, one of the better value plays on the slate. I think Brunson's a little under-owned, but again, tough matchup. Don't want to force too many Knicks here outside of Robinson. Smitty, how do you feel about the Knicks on the road?
Yeah, pretty similar. I think it starts with Mitchell Robinson for sure. On DraftKings, it's kind of like a no-brainer play to me. I think even like his minutes, we could be a little bit light there. Like we could see him play 28. I wouldn't be surprised at that. So I think he looks really good on DraftKings. FanDuel, where you only get one center, I still think he's pretty strong. I'm kind of debating what I'm going to do there, but I'll probably have at least around the field at the 33%. You can only play one center, so I like to get different there sometimes. After that, probably Josh Hart is the most interesting to me. Just kind of priced okay, lowish ownership. Does a little bit of everything. He'll look better if OG's out, but I have a little bit of interest in tournaments and Hart either way.
Yeah, Hart does it all. Don't mind that call at all. Shouts out to JP Mack. You're saying they should have shipped out Towns too soft. There were some rumors that they were trying to move Towns. Is what it is. He is still there. How did Reeves do last night? I'm guessing this is because he did well and we said not to play him, but Luka got hurt. I think that kind of opened the gate for Reeves. Smitty, do you know how Reeves did? I didn't have much of that Lakers game.
I don't know, but I do know I had LeBron over points. Luca gets hurt, and somehow he still don't hit it. I don't know. It made no
Yeah,
sense to me. And I also had the Sixers money line, which I don't know how I didn't win that either. But
man, yeah, it's a weird time of year, so you got to be careful with some of this
yeah,
stuff. I was on Collier's assist that worked out. Jalen Johnson hit his PRA, but tricky night. And yeah, shouts out Rocket, just rubbing it in a little bit further. 35 real points for AR. So if Luka doesn't go down early, I don't know if he gets there, but again, Austin Reeves, very talented player. Not surprised. But shouts out to you, Rocket. I hope you played him. Next game on the slate here, or next team, actually. We're not through with this game yet. We got the Pistons. Jalen Duren left injured last game. He is questionable with right knee soreness. Definitely something we need to keep an eye on. Tobias Harris is probable. Duncan Robinson is probable. Dario Saric, new acquisition, not with the team. Don't know that he's going to be part of this rotation anytime soon. They did go out and get Kevin Herter. I don't really know what to expect for him when it comes to minutes. This is a team whose rotations off the bench are kind of inconsistent. I do like Cade. I think this is a good spot for him. He looks fine. I will say with Harris back in the lineup, I'm not as interested in Asar. But if Durant is in and he's just dealing with Mitchell Robinson tonight, I do think he's a pretty interesting tournament play. No one's going to want to go there coming off the injury. but we'll see. I think they could have just been conservative. They didn't really necessarily want him out there against the Wizards, knowing it was the front end of a back to back. But if he's out, we got to keep an eye on the starting lineup. It could be Paul Reed who gets the nod. He only played 13 minutes yesterday. Isaiah Stewart would kind of slide in there, but he's not really a true center, more of a big four, in my opinion. So whatever that starting lineup looks like, whoever the center is going to look okay. But again, I think Cade is the kind of obvious play here. Harris feels a little bit underpriced, but given how scoring dependent he is, I don't know that I want to rush to him. And I will just shout out Ronald Holland Jr. off the bench. He's had a couple of good games lately. Don't know that they're going to give him consistent minutes, but hitting the boards, kind of raising that floor. Don't mind maybe mixing him in if you're playing 150. Doubt I get there, though, personally. Again, it's mostly just Cade for me. Got to keep an eye on that center spot, though. If Duren's out, things could change quickly. Smitty, how do you feel about Detroit?
Yeah, Durant out would make it pretty interesting. We'd probably get Paul Reed starting, which would be one of the better values on the slate and would be competing with Mitchell Robinson in terms of ownership. So overall, I think we have potential to see the two highest owned centers come from the same game, which is interesting. But Cade, assuming everyone is in. Cade is my favorite here. Pretty interested there. A game that they want to win. Two of the top teams going at it. Seems like a game Cade wants to win. We should see pretty good minutes upside, even on the back end of a back to back. So I'm pretty interested in Cade. Other than that, assuming Duran's in, I think they're all kind of just GPP plays. But if Duran's out, they get pretty interesting.
Yep, I'm with you, man. And Cade historically has done really well in this matchup. They had a playoff series against each other last year. They blew out the Knicks earlier this year. 29 minutes, almost 60 fantasy points for Cade. I'm expecting a competitive contest here tonight, but if you're at all worried about the matchup for Cade, I would not be. I think he's going to do really well here. One of the best pay-ups on the slate. Moving into the 8 o'clock window now, another team with some moving parts. We got the Pacers taking on the Milwaukee Bucks. Pacers went out and got Zubac, but he is not yet going to be available. We got Kobe Brown, Tyrese Halliburton out, Quentin Jackson questionable, Micah Potter questionable, no Obi Toppin. But yeah, kind of interesting. They got rid of Benedict Mathurin. Rick Carlisle never liked Mathurin, so it doesn't really surprise me. But what that does is creates more usage for both Nemhard and Siakam. I think their ceilings are going to climb. Naismith, I mean, he's cheap, obviously kind of scoring dependent for a guy in the mid range, never someone I'm really rushing to get to. TJ McConnell getting a ton of love over on DK. Again, just 4 games over there. I don't mind it. He's played only 15 minutes, though, in 3 straight games. So if he's going to be chalk, I would be looking to get a little bit different. But yeah, man, got to see what the starting lineup looks like. Again, no Zubac here tonight. If Huff starts, I think you can mix him in. But the 2 guys I really like are going to be Nemhard and Siakam. Not that that's any sort of hot take. How do you feel about the Pacers here?
Yeah, pretty similar. I do think Jay Huff is somewhat interesting just because they did get rid of Isaiah Jackson, kind of one less body. Plus, Tony Bradley's not there anymore. So they're probably going to start him at the 5. They could also throw Siakam at the 5 and then Huff play the backup 5. I don't know. Kind of depends on Micah Potter as well. But other than Huff, Neesmith to me seems kind of overowned. Kind of weird seeing him at 32%. I know it's only a 4-gamer, but I don't know. I feel like I could find a pivot there. TJ McConnell, kind of like you said, he's okay, but I wouldn't say he's like a great play in my eyes. Probably don't really have a minute ceiling, but he is productive. Other than that, I think Siakam's pretty interesting, especially on FanDuel. His price, he looks pretty good. Nemhard as well, going against Milwaukee. So probably Nemhard, Siakam are my favorite here. Huff is pretty interesting if he starts at the 5.
Yep, totally agree. And if it were to be Potter, starting at the 5, I wouldn't mind mixing him in. To your point, no more Isaiah Jackson. They're going to have Zubac soon. He's not yet with the team. So again, whoever starts at center here, pretty interesting. Huff also has forward eligibility on DK, which makes it a little bit easier to get to over there. Over on the Milwaukee side of things, Giannis out, did not get traded. I don't know if he's going to ever play for this team again. We'll see. Bobby Portis is questionable. This is important. No Kyle Kuzma. He's going to be out here tonight. Gary Harris, who doesn't really play much, is questionable. And we just got Kevin Porter Jr. back. He played 29 minutes against the Pelicans, had 47 fantasy points. Really, really productive game out of him. We have him for 32 minutes tonight. I don't mind getting to him. Rollins has been excellent. With Porter coming back, it could cut into his upside. I still like both of them, but I'll say this: I don't think I would want both Rollins and Porter in one lineup. If one's really going off, I think it's going to be tough for the other to do the same. Miles Turner, fine, obviously against his former team here, but it is a home game. Don't mind mixing him in. He's had some big games with Giannis out. Can't call him a priority, obviously, with all the value we have at center. If Bobby Portis is in, you can mix him in, but again, tough to call him a priority now that he's pushing 8K. I like both guards here. It's tough for me to pick one over the other, and the dirt cheap play I'll shout out is going to be Pete Nance, man. Hate that he has only center eligibility on DK, but he's been super productive lately. Wouldn't mind mixing him in a little bit, especially with Kuzma out. But at the same time, I can't say I feel great about it. Smitty, how do you feel about the Bucks?
Yeah, it's funny. He kind of gets on like one guy for a couple weeks that he just rides. Like it was Jericho Sims. Now it's Pete
Yeah,
Nance. But yeah, I don't mind the Nance call at all. Prefer him on FanDuel because he's power forward. But
mm-hmm.
yeah, I think Rollins, Porter both look pretty good. Honestly, I prefer KPJ even in less minutes, just more productive when he's out there. Does a little bit of everything, as does Rollins, but KPJ's kind of on another level, I
Yeah.
think. But yeah, you're giving up like 5 minutes is how we have it. But I don't know. They've been quick to ramp KPJ back up. So could see a scenario where he gets 32, 33 minutes if this game's pretty close. So I like KPJ. Don't mind Rollins. Similar to you, though, I wouldn't play them together, especially with Bobby Portis back in the lineup. Portis, I
Yep.
think, is correctly priced. Don't mind him in tournaments, but like on a four gamer, I think he's a pretty good piece of leverage. But overall, not someone I'm going to be jamming into my lineups.
Yeah, and I'll say one more thing about Nance. He looks a lot better if Portis is out. Model still likes him his value with Portis in. Again, no Kuzma, but with Portis out, I think he becomes like a borderline core value play for me, which is absolutely insane to say out loud. Definitely keep an eye on that situation there. I'm hoping Portis plays, so I just don't have too much Nance ruining my night here going into the weekend. Next game here, we have this is the last game on the DK slate. The Pelicans taking on the Timberwolves. Pelicans underdogs on the road. Highest total on the DK slate, though, 236.5 points. Pelicans are going to be without DeJounte Murray. Other than that, really nothing. Pretty interesting ownership, though, on this team. Just going to pull them up here. On a slate where we're lacking value, Jeremiah Fears and his inconsistent minutes coming off the bench is almost 40% owned. Kind of crazy to me. Like, I don't mind it. I don't mind mixing him in. They did get rid of Alvarado, which I guess is why people are getting to him here, but we have him for just 20 minutes, which is what he's been playing lately. I don't know that I love that necessarily. We will have to wait and see if he's going to really benefit from that trade or not. But it seems like the field is thinking he will. So we'll have to discuss that. Herb Jones has been getting the starts at the one, technically speaking, but it's actually Bay and Murphy who've been doing most of the ball handling. I like both of them a lot here. I do prefer Murphy if you can afford him. But again, Sadiq Bey, very high ceiling. Zion's been playing consistent minutes lately. Fine to mix him in, about price where he should be, though. Tough for me to get to Queen. He does have an upside. He does have a ceiling. Jordan Poole, I'm really never interested in. Would rather get the Fears, but I guess just thinking out loud in terms of game theory, like if you're looking for direct leverage, if Fears is playing terribly, maybe Poole takes some minutes away. I don't think I get there, but there could be some leverage potentially off of 38% owned Jeremiah Fields over on DK. On FanDuel, Fears is 5-1. You could kind of just leave him out, but Smitty, very curious on how you feel about the Pels here on the road.
Yeah, I think Fears is probably the big talking point here. So when I first looked at the slate, I was pretty interested in him without looking at ownership. But like you said, I think the field's kind of banking that he's going to get those minutes that Alvarado left behind. But it's possible they go a different route with that. Like they could play Queen more, they could play Herb Jones more. Like there's other guys that could play. Even
Mm-hmm.
Poole could get a few more minutes. I highly doubt it, but he could. So if the field's going to be that confident that Fears is going to get those minutes, I'm kind of willing to get away from that. But then again, that kind of you got to find other value plays too. So there is a push and pull there. I think he's okay, but not
Okay.
my favorite play, I will say. Bay, I think at his price is still pretty interesting. Don't mind him, especially on a four gamer. Pretty much this whole Pels team don't look too bad though. I think Trey Murphy is pretty solid. I'm willing to go back there. Pretty good price on FanDuel in a pretty bad position. So pretty interested in him on FanDuel. Queen's price has kind of came down on DraftKings. He's center only, which makes it kind of tough, but I think he's in play on a 4 gamer at only 6% owned.
Yeah, I don't mind it. And again, Murphy coming off a ridiculous ceiling game, but the ownership's still in check, so I don't think we have to worry too much there. Timberwolves on the other side here. Ayo Donsuma, acquired from the Bulls, won't be with the team yet tonight. Julius Randle is questionable. That's obviously big news there. Um, it's not on the injury report. I think they got Mike Conley back. It's funny. They traded him away. He got traded away again and waived, so they're able to bring him back in on a new contract, which is kind of skirting the system. So that's pretty interesting. He's not going to be with the team tonight, though, I don't think. But yeah, man, the Randall news is obviously big. If he's in, I actually think he's a really good play. If he's out, it's going to boost the upside of Ant. It's going to boost the upside of Nas, McDaniels, and Gobert in a way. So it is very important to kind of keep an eye on things there. We saw last game with no Conley. Bones Heinlein got 26 minutes off the bench. I don't mind using him as maybe a leverage point to get a little bit different from the Jeremiah Fears chalk. But at the same time, on DK, he's almost 1K more, and he's pushing 20% ownership himself. So I do like Bones. I think he's a good play. I think I like him more than Fears, even with the increase in salary. But the Randall news is massive here. I think for now, you can mix in the starters, but if Randall's out, they're all going to become much more appealing. Smitty, how do you feel about the Timberwolves?
Yeah, we got word Randall is in, so
Okay.
I still think they're okay. Don't mind Anthony Edwards is always in play, one of the higher ceiling options, especially against the Pelicans. Uh, Randall, I think, is fine. Don't mind him at all. Bones is pretty interesting. I did shout him out last time, and I was like, I don't think we need it because it was a slate where we had, I want to say it was like the Thunder or maybe it was the Pacers value or something like that.
Yeah, one of those
But
G League
no
slates.
Conley, yeah. I was like, no Conley, Bones could be pretty interesting. I don't think we need it. But yeah, I do think he works as a pivot, especially on FanDuel at 4,100. Don't mind mixing him in as a value there. DraftKings, I still think he's in play. Shooting guard eligibility is pretty big. But yeah, we only have him for 20 minutes. Possible he could get a few more than that, and maybe they let him play blowout if that happens. Other than that, I think Gobert is playable. I normally like centers against the Pels, but his minutes have just been kind of everywhere. And then Nas Reed is 30% owned. Kind of weird to see, but I don't mind it.
Yeah, again, I probably wouldn't want Reed and Gobert in the same lineup. They both look fine here, though. I mean, everyone's did pretty well against the Pels when it comes to opposing offenses. Let's hit a few questions here. Again, we're through the first 4 games, which is the DK slate. We got 2 more to go on FanDuel. First, JP Mack here asking, what do we think of Huck Porty? He is the backup center. Detroit can't play big, but at the same time, I don't necessarily know that we need to go there personally. I'd rather just get up to Robinson if I can. Smitty, any love for you when it comes to the backup center tonight for the Knicks, Huck Porty?
No, not really. If he was less owned, I would, but at like 15%, I think is what we have him at. I don't really think he looks that good.
Yep, shouts out Big Ed here as well. We got Jim Parrish asking Naismith and Walker, question mark. Naismith's the starter. The minutes are safer for him. He's kind of scoring dependent and over owned, though. I don't mind getting to Walker as a pivot. It's just you're always running the risk of Rick Carlisle doing some weird stuff. I'd say if Potter's out, excuse me, I know it's a different position. I'd feel a little bit better about Walker. Smitty, what's your take on those 2 wins for the Pacers?
I don't know. I think Neesmith's a little overowned. I think he's okay though. But Drace, I think, has a higher ceiling. I think. I don't know. It's kind of
Yeah, I
tough.
kind of feel the same.
I'd rather play Drace.
Yeah, the minutes are riskier for Jerace, but the upside is there, especially at low ownership. CA saying he's looking at Pete Nance as well. Yeah, again, if Portis is out, I feel better about that. Randall's in. Shouts out to Power. Emmerich saying he likes Herb Jones tonight. I don't mind it. The minutes have been there for him. It's just the usage is inconsistent with that starting unit. Some of all fears, CA. Davion Mitchell's minutes projection for you, Jose. I got your back, man. Again, no hero. We have him for 28. I think that's pretty safe. Smith, are you over under that 27 point where we have him?
No, I think that's about where it should be.
Yep. Big Ed saying Cat out. Yep, we knew that one, my man. We're going to be playing a lot of Mitchell Robinson. Best spend up, best value. Quickly, just on DK, since we're through that. I mean, Kawhi's going to be the best spend up on FanDuel, I think. I like Cade a lot. I think Cade is probably going to be my favorite on DK. Best value is going to be same game, Mitchell Robinson. Do you have a take there, Smith?
No, I'm actually the same. The model really likes Ant, so I guess he's pretty comparable.
Yeah, it is a good matchup for Ant, but Cade has crushed the Knicks historically. Let's see what else we got here. Randall's in it. It sucks from Brian Walker. Questions about Herb Jones. We just talked about him. Shouts out Unicorn getting in here. Best game to stack. I would actually say it might be this New Orleans Minnesota game if you do want to stack a game. We're about to get into FanDuel, but I think this game just having the highest total, it's enough of a reason for me to get there.
Yeah,
No, yeah, same.
yeah,
And then power translating here for Smitty. Huck Porty, more like Yuck Porty. Let's use that as an opportunity to get into the late games here. Only two more games we got on FanDuel. The Grizzlies taking on the Portland Trailblazers. Grizzlies have made some moves of their own. First, pulling up the injury report. Eldam is going to be out here again. Kyle Anderson, questionable. They brought him back, former Grizzly from the Jazz, back with the team. Brandon Clark is out. Zach Edey is out. Eric Gordon, who they acquired for whatever reason, is going to be out. Ty Jerome, who's been amazing in limited minutes, is out. John Morant is out. And then our old friend Scottie Pippen Jr. is questionable. Going to be interesting to see if he's available here. He is a very productive guard in limited minutes, similar to a Ty Jerome. So if he does slide in there and he starts, I don't mind mixing him in his value. At the same time, kind of crazy. Like first game back, 19 minutes to see him at 34% owned. That's probably too much. Gigi Jackson's been my guy. I think, again, with Jaren Jackson leaving and Jock Landale leaving, Gigi's going to benefit as much as anyone. He looks excellent here to me. Don't mind Spencer or Coward. It's just their minutes are never really at 30 where we want them. You can mix them in. Maxime Prosper, now the true center here. I still prefer Gigi by a wide margin, but if you're desperate for value, I don't think Prosper's terrible. You can mix in Wells. I don't know. Field wants to play Kyle Anderson in his first game back here. I don't know that it's something I'll be doing, Smitty. I like Gigi a lot here. Honestly, I'm under the field on most of these other Grizzlies players, though. How do you feel about them here in Portland?
yeah. I don't know. I want to like them. I want to like them because it's a good game environment, but we have literally not one player over 30 minutes, which makes it kind of sketchy. I'm with you. I think GG's my favorite here. Probably the safest type play, I guess you could say. After that, it gets kind of dicey. Like, I think Spencer's pretty good. He's better if Pippen's out. But assuming Pippen's in there, that seems kind of bad. The 34%. Like, I like Pippen, but I don't know about that coming off of injury. Jalen Wells is someone that continues to get solid minutes for them. Don't mind him. I think you can mix him in. Kyle Anderson, I think, is whatever. Who starts at center for them? Omax.
It's probably Omax or Gigi, but
Yeah,
I know they're listing Kyle Anderson in the center. I don't think it's him.
yeah. Who knows? Now, if Kyle Anderson starts at center, then it's a little more interesting.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Then we're
That would
kind of
be.
talking about him as like a probably a core play at 4,100. As gross as it sounds.
No, that's true.
But I don't know. If Pippen's out, I think Walter Clayton could be in play. Just I don't know. It's hard to project these minutes for Memphis. Don't see anyone with a high minute ceiling, but I think they're all pretty good plays.
Yeah, I think Gigi's the safest. I actually think Wells is a little bit safer than Coward or Spencer in terms of their upside, just because he's been playing more minutes and he's cheaper, so he doesn't need to do as much for him to hit value. But great game environment. I mean, if there's someone you really like, why not play him? It's just they're over-owned a little bit. Over on the Blazers side of things, Denny, who's been out, is questionable. Scoot Henderson, who's been out for a very long time, he is probable. He should be back tonight. No Damian Lillard, Chris Murray, Matisse Thybulle, and Blake Wesley is questionable. I don't think Scoot is going to start. It's probably going to come off the bench. He had a really bad hamstring tear. Great to see him returning. We have him for 17 minutes. I think that's about where he should be. On FanDuel, though, it is a conversation. He's only 3,800 over there. So if he can get to 20 minutes, I mean, he definitely has enough of an upside to justify mixing him in a little bit, especially at 1% owned. Again, I don't think he starts, but at 3,800, I do think it's a conversation worth having. Drew, minutes have been kind of limited on him. Don't mind mixing him in. Denny, if he's in, he usually plays his full minutes. It's not like they're playing Denny when he's not 100% healthy. He's either a full go or they just completely rule him out. So if Denny's in, I like him a lot, especially at 1% owned. Great matchup for him, high total. I think he could absolutely crush here. But again, you got to kind of proceed with caution. We don't know for sure that he's going to be in yet. Klingon's the other one, obviously, with the Grizzlies missing a lot of guys in the front court. Don't know that he's going to play the 30 minutes we have him projected for, but even in 26 minutes, he's been floating around 45 fantasy points pretty consistently. I do like Klingon as a low owned center play. Denny, if he's in, is a low owned play. And yeah, I don't think Scoot's crazy over on FanDuel, man, where he is available on the main slate. How do you feel about the Blazers here?
Yeah, I think overall they kind of seem underowned. It seems like a pretty good team to target in tournaments. Like Klingon, I think looks pretty good at his price. The only problem is he's competing with like Mitchell Robinson, potentially Paul Reed over on FanDuel, which makes it kind of tough. But um, I think Drew is okay. Don't mind him. 20% seems about correct for him. But I do like the Scoot Henderson call quite a bit. I think that's kind of like your pivot to like a Scottie Pippen or something like that that's coming off an injury. He's actually cheaper than Pippen. So don't mind actually going to Scoot and just kind of hope for 20 minutes. Like 20 minutes, say he gets you 25 fantasy point, I'd be pretty happy with that.
Right.
Uh, but Denny, I think Denny looks like a really solid tournament play. Jeremy Grant, never loved playing him, but he can get hot, and he's going against a pretty poor defensive team. So I don't mind Grant in tournaments either. They did get Vit. I'll just say Vit.
Yeah.
Not sure how much he'll play. We only have him for 10 minutes, so probably not interested today, but kind of wanting to see how that shakes out.
Yeah, it will be interesting. Again, with Scoot coming back, Vit's there, but we only have him for 10 minutes. If Denny's out, obviously it'll be a boost to all these guys. I will say this about the guards in this game in general, though. We have Spencer as chalk, Coward as chalk, and Drew Holiday as chalk. I would be surprised if any of them played 30 minutes. So I think they're kind of overowned here, even though this game is a pretty high total. But let's go ahead and get into the last game here. Then we will get into any other questions in dummy builds on both sides. We got the Clippers favored on the road here, 222.5 point total against the Kings. No more Zubac. He's out of the picture. They traded away James Harden, obviously, for Darius Garland. Garland's not yet available. In that trade for Zubac, they're bringing in Isaiah Jackson, Benedict Mathurin, and a few picks, but Mathurin and Jackson not yet with the team. No Bradley Beal. He's obviously out here. So kind of a thin team at the same time. They carry a lot of bodies on this roster. So they're not like the Jazz or the Thunder where they're running an 8-man rotation. Like they still have like 15 guys here, even with all these guys ruled out. Kawhi is my favorite pay up over on FanDuel. I just think it's kind of a no-brainer. Very good matchup against a very bad defense. No Harden. He's going to run this team, and the minutes should be there for him. After him, I don't mind mixing in some John Collins. Everyone knows I'm a huge fan, or at least anyone who's been watching, of Brook Lopez. He's fine as a pivot. Obviously, I'd much rather be playing like a Mitchell Robinson here tonight. So don't know that you need to get to him unless you're looking to get a little bit different in tournaments. Chris Dunn, another guard, in my opinion. We talked a little bit pre-stream, who I think is overowned. Even with Harden out, he just hasn't been doing much. They have young guys like Kobe Sanders and Jordan Miller on this team. I think they're going to get more run moving forward. The prices came up a little bit on them, but I'd rather play both than I would Chris Dunn, especially with Chris Dunn being chalk. But again, Kawhi definitely a core play for me. Don't mind a little bit of Collins even with the price increase. You could use Lopez as a pivot, but I don't feel great about it. Smitty, how do you feel about the Clippers here?
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you. I think Kawhi looks like one of the better spin ups. Good matchup, close spread, kind of checks all the boxes. No Harden, no Zoo now, so it's pretty much just his team. And I'm with you as well on the Chris Dunn. I think it's kind of good that this is the last game too, because you can kind of see how your lineup's going. Like if you do have Chris Dunn or you do have Kobe Sanders or something, if you're starting off really well and you got some low end pieces that hit, you might want to swap to Chris Dunn. But if you're doing poorly, you could swap to Sanders or Miller. So I think it's pretty important. If you start with Miller, it's kind of the easiest to swap around all those. But then again, they are different positions, so don't listen to that. I think Jordan Miller, Kobe Sanders are both really good pivots and on the same team. And then the center situation, I'm fine with Brook or Yannick. It's just so hard when we have Mitchell Robinson, potentially Paul Reed, to really like tout them or like say that we want to play them. But I think they're interesting tournament options, especially like on a night slate or something. I think I'll be pretty overweight on Yannick. And John Collins is pretty good too.
Yeah. Again, great matchup for this team. The guys getting minutes, you're going to want to play, but the ones we know are getting minutes are really just Kawhi, Collins. So we'll see what happens there. But again, I like your point. Like if you're doing really well, your lineup's different. Pivot onto the Chris Dunn chalk, even if he's not hitting his ceiling. I think that kind of solidifies your spot on a leaderboard. Over on the other side here, we got the Kings. Domantas Sabonis is out. No Keegan Murray. They wanted to trade with some teams. No one really wanted to trade with them, though, unfortunately. We got Russ, Levine, DeRozan projected to start here. DeAndre Hunter is the one guy they were able to pull in. I don't know. I just don't really have interest in anybody here when it comes to the Kings. Kind of a healthy team, even with Sabonis out. I know we have some fans of Cardwell in here as a center pivot if you want to use him. Probably coming off the bench, though, behind Raynaud. So it's kind of tough to project those minutes. Man, yeah, no Kings love for me really tonight here, man. How about you?
Yeah, pretty much the same. I think it's Raynaud or Cardwell. They're both playable. Don't think either is a priority. But they are going against like Brooke Lopez, Y&K instead of Zoo. So I think it makes them a little more interesting. But it's so hard when they're only center. Other than that, I don't really have much interest. I think Russ's prices came down, but his production's also been down. So just not a lot here that I'm really liking.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, man. I do think Nick Clifford's a talented player, but I don't think the minutes are there consistently enough to want to be using him as value very much. So we are through the game by game. Let's take a look at the chat here, then we will get into these dummy builds. Let's see here. Mikal Bridges or Jalen McDaniels? Who's the better roster? If OG's out, I'd say Bridges. Otherwise, I think I prefer McDaniels. Smitty, how about you on that one?
Yeah, same for me.
Yeah, we got Portis in. Appreciate that power. Page giving us props. I think I don't know exactly what that means, but we'll take it. Carter is interesting here from Doug. Let's pull up Devin Carter.
Yeah, I almost mentioned his name. I don't mind it.
Yeah, if you want to mix him in again, you're looking to get different late. Maybe you're doing the opposite of the Chris Dunn thing. You're trying to make up some ground. A play like that isn't crazy. He played 23 minutes against Memphis, had a really good game. Prior to that, it's been weeks since he played 23 minutes, though. So I don't know what to expect. They have Russ and Monk healthy. Monk is kind of in and out of the rotation. So if we were confident that he would play like 24 minutes, I would definitely recommend him. But we have him at 18. I think that's a pretty good mark. So we'll kind of move on from there. But not a bad shot at all, man. And again, if you're looking to get different on a slate like this, a player like Carter isn't a terrible idea. Play Caden Brunson. Yeah, James, I'm totally with it, especially on DK where you don't have the late games. I think Kawhi is a priority for me over both of those guys. But on DK, I do think Cade's my favorite. Brunson not too far behind. So hard for value to fit in my lineups. Yeah, Emmerich, we're about to do a dummy build. We'll hopefully get to that. And then how do we think the Bucks utilize Jang? He is available. He is with the team. I just saw. Man, I've never been a fan of his. I don't know that I'm expecting much, Smitty. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I don't know. We don't even have him in the model, so I don't know. I think he's okay. I don't really know. That's the hard part. Like, I probably wait and see what they do with him.
Yeah, I mean, he could ruin our Nance exposure. I think other than that, there's not much that he's doing, especially with Portis. And now I'm a little bit less bullish on Nance than I was. But let's go ahead and do the dummy build on both sides. Again, just 4 games over on DK. I do think Cade is worth prioritizing. Other than that, I mean, we're definitely going to be getting to Mitchell Robinson. Then start to throw some names at me, Smitty. Happy to plug some of these options in here.
Yeah. Let's see. DK. We could go with man. I'm trying to look for a good value that I actually like, and they're all really gross.
Yeah, let's sort by value. Yeah, a lot of them aren't on the slate. The model still likes Nance, but that's risky. Um,
Yeah, and then there's like Shireman and like none of them feel good. That's for sure.
who?
None of them feel very good. That's for
No, I
sure.
agree.
Fears. like
So it's
it's
like you
all.
can really only fit one stud. I think we gotta kind of have to go balanced otherwise. Um,
Yeah, I
yeah,
think that's
that's why
probably
Fears
good.
is so popular.
Yeah,
I
like
don't think Fears is
Neesmith. Because
bad.
yeah, I feel the same.
I'm just not crazy about it.
Like I don't think he could really kill you if you don't play him, but he could also make things work. So
Yeah, again, he's probably bad chalk, but if you're playing one lineup, low risk, I think he kind of necessary for now. Um, let's take a look here. We got small forward. I mean, Naismith's chalk. I don't really want to play him as chalk at all.
no,
You almost have to go up. I don't mind McDaniels or Bridges. Bay.
yeah, I like any of them. I
Yeah,
like Bay.
let's go Bay, and then power forward. I mean, if Huff starts at center, I do like Huff.
That's who I was gonna say. I like him quite a bit.
Yeah, let's throw Huff in there and hope he starts. If he doesn't start, guys, Potter might get the nod. You could just pivot or just get away from that spot probably. And again, if we
Yeah,
get the rent out and B-ball Paul starts, we're playing two centers. We're gonna have another nice value piece there, utility. Maybe that allows you to get up from fears as chalk. So we'll keep an eye on that. Guard forward utility. We again
yeah,
4 game slate, not a ton of value. I think Bones is okay.
yeah. I like Bones. I like KPJ.
Yeah, I do like KBJ, but we're really going to be going with him, I
Yeah.
think, otherwise. Eh,
Hopefully, hopefully the Knicks OG would make it a little easier, and
yeah,
hopefully
well,
Duran sits. What is Paul Reed's price? I know he's not in the model. Is he
I think
min
he's
price?
41, I want to say.
Okay,
Yeah, 41.
that's still pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good. 6,300 per. Not bad. I mean, with no Kuzma, we already have KPJ. I was going to say Portis isn't terrible. Nas looks okay. Kate is coming off the bench now. Not crazy about that. Man, I don't know. We could throw Bones in. That gives us
Tough.
8K for a forward.
Yeah,
It's not bad.
it's really kind of a tough slate for value.
Yeah, I mean, if we go Hart instead, we could upgrade Bones to, let's see, Larson's 55 now. Damn,
Yeah,
we're close.
yeah,
It's tricky. Like again, if we don't go Porter, we go down a little bit. Um, I mean, what's even in this range that we like? There's not much. Like Nemhard, just to get another 200 at utility. Like I'm not crazy about this, but that gets us Walker and Naismith. Like in cash, it would be something like this, I think. But again, I'm really hoping we could play Paul Reed, and I don't want to have three Pacers. Like that feels too much.
yeah.
But all right, we're getting close, guys. You see where we're at. FanDuel should be a little easier. We're going to start with Kawhi.
Yep.
I think Mitchell Robinson. We're still playing him over here, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. And whatever cheap player we want to go with, there's like Pippen, Dunn, Sanders,
I'm throwing
uh,
Gigi in.
Jordan Miller. Yeah, Gigi's top of the model.
It's been Sanders starting over Miller, right?
Yeah.
But Miller's like the better
Yeah,
player, I
he's
think.
he's a better fantasy producer for sure. Like
It's
I'd
very
rather
true.
play Miller, but
You'd
I
rather
like them
play
both.
Miller?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I don't really want to play Chris Dunn as a
As he's small
chalk.
forward.
So we're gonna move GG down. That's fine. 4,800 for Miller does feel pretty good. Get GG back in there. Okay, now we're in the 7K range. We can mess around with some stuff.
Okay.
Uh, let's see. I mean, kind of want to pay up a little bit at guard. I think
Yeah, I'd like to get Cade if we could, but I don't know.
Cade. We could do
Yeah, if
it.
we can. Cade or I still like KPJ, but
Yeah, I think we could get both. And honestly, we're still not dumpster diving too far.
yeah,
And yeah, I mean, we have Scoot at 38. Like, if you guys are really looking for value, I don't think that's crazy. I mean, Jalen Wells at 48 doesn't feel bad, which
no.
is a little gross. Let's see here. God, I'm gonna play honestly. Like, I'd rather play Wells than like the Memphis chalk because I think the cowards and the Spencers. Like, obviously, Coward and Spencer, I think have better talent. Like, I think they're more consistent, but Wells has been playing more minutes, so we'll throw Wells in there. I don't know. Collins makes a lot of sense here.
Yeah,
We're left with 65. Something like this. I mean, of course, we're a few hundred off. DiVincenzo isn't terrible. Can move Porter. What would be 65 in shooting guard? It's going to get us to Bridges. Yeah, if we move Porter to point, we could go Bridges at 2, something like this. This isn't bad.
No,
Yeah.
I
Again, if
actually
there's
like it.
other value you guys like, you come off of Wells, Miller. I think they're pretty good plays to get off some of the chalk. Yeah, Emmerich's with you, man. Definitely thinks he looks good here. Over under threes for Andrew Wiggins. When it's such a low number, it's tough, man. Miami against Boston, I kind of lean under, but Boston takes so many threes. Opposing teams do tend to shoot more against them, but they defend it well. Do you have a hot take on that one, Smitty? I'm leaning under, but it's with zero confidence in it.
I would probably lean under. I did hit Bam's under threes, but it was at
Nice.
1.5 too.
Yeah, Unicorn St. Brunson finally had a big game. Yeah, with no what's his name? No Cat. He should have another big game here. You would think. No Rollins. Are we saying no Rollins in the lineup, or was he just ruled out? I think we're just saying no Rollins in the lineup.
In our lineup, yeah.
Yeah, and again, we still like Rollins. It's just you could get KPJ a little bit cheaper, so I go ahead and keep that in mind. All right, gang. Again, Slate Block's 30 minutes later than usual tonight, which means Jayhawk is going to be live in the Discord coming up here at 7 Eastern Standard. Like the video, subscribe to the channel on your way out. Guys will be here with videos over the weekend. I think I'm back on Monday. We got Super Bowl content obviously up. I will be grinding the UFC. My bets will be in the plug tonight. Lots going on at Occupy. No better time to get behind that paywall. Smitty, any last thoughts before we get out of here?
No, good luck and don't be scared to get different on this slate.
Absolutely. Yeah, let's get a little weird tonight, everyone. Take care. Have a great weekend. Have fun. Good luck.